Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to watch Fight World!
When MMA first started, the general public didn't accept it as a sport. In people's minds, MMA was just a brutal blood show where a crowd gets entertained by watching others get hurt.
It's barbaric, yeah. A lot of blood. It looks pretty brutal. I mean, I wouldn't want one of my children in the ring.
Over the years, as MMA added more rules and tests to make things safer for everyone, this negative perception shifted quite a bit. And as of today, most people do respect mixed martial arts as a sport, while some fans like us even view it as an art form. However, this does not mean that MMA is for everyone, because it's not. We can all admit that MMA can get terrifyingly dangerous at times. So join us as we explore the 10 scariest knockouts that genuinely sent chills down the spines of everyone who watched. Starting with our number 10 scariest knockout, Jeff Neal vs. Frank Camacho. As the fight begins, we have Camacho in the white and Neal in the black trunks. A few seconds in, Camacho is already having a hard time landing anything. Instead, he just eats a lot of kicks and punches throughout the first round, until Neal hits Camacho with a hard punch that tags him.
By Jeff Neal to avoid the takedown.
But Camacho survives the last few seconds, literally on his knees grabbing Neal's leg as he is saved by the bell. In round 2, Camacho starts with a bloody nose already heavily damaged, but he shows some heart and starts to fight back. Eventually, Neal starts getting the upper hand again, and he throws some precision punches right on Camacho's bloody nose, even managing to land a knee square in his face. Despite this, Camacho keeps pressing forward, but unfortunately, it is just not Camacho's day.
Straight left hands right on the button that many times.
Just look at that kick, the sound of it. Even Joe Rogan can feel the pain from the sidelines.
Oh man, oh my goodness.
Next on our list is literally the fastest knockout in MMA history. On number 9 we have Jorge Masvidal vs. Ben Askren.
The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
My God, these MMA fighters certainly have a hard life. Is there any other profession that comes with the risk of getting a flying knee straight to the face, only within 5 seconds of showing up for work? There was no chance of Ben waking up from that before the night was over. Jorge had practiced this devastating knee for far too many times during his training. He knew about Ben's tendency to go for a takedown straight away. Jorge already knew where Ben's face would be down to the centimeter, even days before the fight. Lesson to learn for aspiring MMA fighters: you can't be predictable in any shape or form, not when you are in the UFC. Number 8. Goodridge vs. Herrera. This is an old one from back in the day when UFC was just starting out. MMA was not even a thing, and you could get away with only practicing one style of martial arts. This fight happened in 1996 between the grappler Paul Herrera in the trunks and the Kuk Sool 1 practitioner Gary Goodridge in a gown. Within a couple of seconds, Goodridge got Herrera in a crucifix, and having both of Herrera's hands under control, Goodridge proceeded to land some killer blows.
My elbows in number by Goodridge.
Let's get a replay on those nasty elbows.
Oh my elbows in number by...
Now you know why still to this day, this remains one of the most vicious knockouts we have ever seen. Number 7. Gabriel Gonzaga vs. Travis Browne. As the fight commenced, Browne aimed to make an immediate impact, launching a lightning-fast high kick that narrowly missed its mark. Seizing the opportunity, Gonzaga swiftly capitalized, initiating a takedown attempt to take control of the fight. However, Browne showcased his defensive prowess, refusing to be taken down easily. Pressed against the cage, Browne saw an opening and went for it.
Gonzaga really trying for that single leg. Travis Browne really hurt him, and he drops in.
Browne unleashed a devastating arsenal of elbows, raining down with calculated precision. These elbows did stir up some controversy. According to some, the last 2 elbows were illegal, however the commission never overturned the decision. Number 6. Pat Curran vs. Joe Warren. In this bout of Joe Warren defending his flyweight championship belt against the ferocious Pat Curran, we witnessed something crazy about this knockout. As if fighting the most dangerous fighters on the planet was not scary enough already, Perhaps the scariest thing about MMA is a bad referee. The first 2 rounds were pretty eventful, but let's jump straight to round 3. After a couple of exchanges, Curran landed a big knee to Warren's jaw and a flying knee to the body. The combination rocked Warren pretty badly, but Curran was not done as he proceeded to land enough finishing blows to end 10 fights. This left us wondering, what the hell was this referee waiting for? A freaking funeral or something? That guy just stood there and watched as a clearly dazed out Warren took all the different combinations the world has to offer. Number 5. Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. Nobody ever thought we will see Tony Ferguson knocked out like this. Primarily because Ferguson is called the boogeyman. This man has the ability to get up and keep going even after eating punches that can knock anybody out. But we included this fight because no matter how tough you are, you can get one hit KO'd. That's the scary thing about MMA. Number 4. Gerald Harris versus Aaron Cobb. The behavior of Aaron Cobb was extremely unprofessional leading up to the bout. This fight was supposed to happen in welterweight, but Cobb made history by missing his weight by a whopping 58 pounds. On the other hand, his opponent Harris showed incredible heart and chucked down water to move this fight to the heavyweight division. The fight began, and eventually we ended up in this position, and what happened next was absolutely incredible.
He had to get his arm out so the triangle didn't happen. He's out!
Cobb got slammed the daylights out of him. Turns out, all that extra weight was his undoing at the end. What a fitting end to this story with an exceptional performance from Harris. Cobb was definitely seeing some fairies dancing around after this one. This rare slam knockout was great, but the next slam knockout on this list is considered the best of them all. On number 3 we have Rampage Jackson versus Ricardo Arona. The fight was a spine-chilling clash that unfolded at Pride Critical Countdown 2005. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as these two ferocious warriors stepped into the ring. Arona, a master of grappling, sought to dominate Jackson with his ground game, aiming to suffocate his opponent's every move. Both guys were struggling for control for a bit, but Jackson decided he had enough.
Gotta get out. Try. Oh, Dan, I told you. He picked him up and slammed him to the ground. He's out. He's out.
And he slammed Arona to the canvas with bone-rattling force, inflicting a nasty knockout. Jackson is not known for his patience. Just look at what he did to this door after something pissed him off. On number 2 we have Michael Bisping versus Vitor Belfort, a knockout that ended in devastating injury, with Michael Bisping on the right and Vitor Belfort on the left. Round 1 was relatively uneventful until Belfort managed to do some damage at the end.
Let the knockout come, just kind of string together shots, and he just landed a huge left high kick that hurt Bisping. Yeah, set up.
But the knockout came in the second round.
There it is again, that left high kick. And Bisping is all sorts of trouble, that'll do it!
With Belfort landing a high kick and finishing Bisping off on the ground. The finish might not appear too special, but the scariest news was yet to come. Due to the injuries suffered from this bout, Michael Bisping had a retinal detachment of his right eye, and shortly after the doctors had to remove his eye completely. For anyone else, losing one eye surely marks the end of the career, but Bisping wasn't about to call quits just yet.
How did you pass this test?
With great difficulty. Lying, cheating, bullshit codes. I fucking lied to so many doctors.
Bisping somehow managed to stay in the game, and later on, he even went on to be the undisputed middleweight champion of UFC, fighting his way with only one good eye. He might not be the greatest fighter ever, but his tenacity is certainly unmatched. On number 1, we have the most notorious KO in MMA, Michael Page versus Cyborg Santos. This knockout by Michael Page was the scariest of them all, so much so that Santos had to take early retirement from MMA after this fight, and you would know why. The bout began and the fight was pretty even throughout the first round, with Page landing some shots.
Time guys figure him out, it's too late. Good right hand!
And Santos going toe-to-toe with him.
Nice!
And after mutual back and forth, the first round came to an end. Things slowed considerably during the second round. Both fighters were careful with their attacks. But just as the round was about to end, Michael Page did this.
You lose off the liver shot. It can come back. Beautiful. Runs into the...
Oh my God, look at that. Just as Santos leaned in, he got a full force knee straight to the face. Nobody but Santos knew what has happened as he laid there trying to protect his face. At this very moment, the skull of Santos is in pieces. Literally, his face was caved in by that knee. This is wildly considered the most horrific injury in MMA history. Immediately, Santos had to be flown back to his hometown, Houston, to undergo reconstructive surgery. But we have to give props to the referee for calling the fight off immediately, and all credit to Page for not landing any hammer fists. Who knew what could have happened if Page punched Santos when his skull was not there to protect his brain? As ugly as this knockout was, it could have been a lot worse. But probably the most unhinged thing was Page's celebration after ending a career.
Another unforgettable finish. That was the...
Damn, that's a lot of disrespect. Although Page did clarify things after the fact, he simply didn't know what kind of destruction he had caused.
I had, at the time, because he fell over, I actually thought I must have caught his nose or something.
Right.
So like, broken noses is like way more common than you would in any combat sport.
Yeah.
That's all from this video. We will see you in the next one.